This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for waking up with us on this Saturday. It is 6 o'clock, and I'm Galen Edlin. This morning on Sunrise, a local hospital is setting up overflow tents as it sees more COVID patients than ever before through the pandemic. Plus, back on repeat, a rally in Portland is expected to draw polar opposite political groups. But will police step in this time to prevent violence? First, though, our Chris McGinnis joins us live with our forecast. Damp out there this morning.
Yeah, a little bit. I noticed some water on the roadways on my drive in. I'm sure you did too, Galen. Interestingly enough, at PDX out of the airport, just a trace of rain. So officially at the airport, no measurable rain. But we do have this pretty sunrise that will be in the offing here not too far away from now. This is a live look from Timberline Lodge looking up at Mount Hood. You can see a little bit of broken cloud cover up there. We do have some low clouds and some spotty drizzle here in the northern Willamette Valley this morning. A live look from our Wells Fargo sky camera. I think if you look off in the distance, you can see some of that right now. It's 62, last check at PDX, and elsewhere across the region, it's 58 in Beaverton, King City 56. Big picture statewide, nobody terribly chilly this morning. I guess Bend is one of the cooler spots in the upper 40s. The plan for today here in Portland, morning clouds, maybe a stray sprinkle or two early on. Those shower chances, though, dry up as we roll through the morning, and I do think we'll see a few sun breaks this afternoon with highs in the mid-70s. Galen?
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Chris, thanks so much. New this morning, Portland police are investigating another shooting, this one in the Lentz neighborhood. A man is critically hurt, and this was at Southeast 92nd and Holgate just before 10 o'clock. Right now, police do not have suspects in custody. In the pandemic year, Oregon is marking another new grim milestone. More than 3,000 people in the state have now died from the coronavirus as of yesterday. The Oregon Health Authority added 19 new COVID-related deaths to its toll, bringing the total to 3,012 since the pandemic began 17 months ago. OHA also added more than 2,000 new and presumptive cases. 21 more people were in the hospital with the virus on Friday, bringing the total to 866 current patients. Of those, 241 are in an ICU. Now, OHA modeling suggests there will be bigger increases in daily cases and hospitalizations through September 7th. Researchers think the daily case numbers will increase to more than 5,000 per day and 300 new hospitalizations a day, starting this coming Wednesday. Now, while it may be too late to stop the current wave of infections, they say getting vaccinated as soon as possible can prevent the situation from getting worse. Hospitals in Southwest Washington are also seeing a COVID surge. Peace Health Southwest in Vancouver set up a large tent outside the emergency room to handle the influx of patients. KGW's Mike Benner takes us there.
It's hard to miss the massive tent outside Peace Health Southwest Medical Center in Vancouver. We're told the tent serves as an overflow waiting area for patients in need of care. It's necessary because the hospital is seeing a surge in patients, many of whom are sick with COVID.
I haven't been as worried about, hospital overwhelm, basically since the beginning of the pandemic, and now I'm worried about it again.
Dr. Stephen Krager is the deputy health officer for Clark County. He says both case rates and hospitalization rates are approaching all-time highs.
I'll be blunt, it's the worst it's ever been. What makes it worse is that we don't see the trajectory changing anytime soon.
And while breakthrough cases account for less than 0.5% of Clark County's more than 30,000 COVID cases to date, Dr. Krager is closely monitoring those as well. Just 2 weeks ago, there had been less than 600 breakthrough cases in Clark County overall. Those are cases in people that have been fully vaccinated. Now that number sits at more than 1,022. Dr. Krager says it's to be expected, adding that more people are vaccinated. And as infections go up, there's more opportunity for breakthrough cases.
Delta has something to do with that as well. It's different, and it does seem to be more likely to cause a breakthrough infection.
Those who are vaccinated and get COVID are much more likely to recover and avoid the hospital. The unvaccinated people with COVID, Dr. Krager says, don't have it as easy. They can get sick to the point of hospitalization, putting even more pressure on a system reaching its breaking point. For proof, look no further than that large tent outside Peace Health Southwest.
We need to change behavior. We need to have people wearing masks as much as possible, limiting gatherings. Otherwise, we're going to see continued worsening of cases and problems with our hospital capacity.
Dr. Krager says there are several ways to ease the pressure on the hospital system. For one, don't go to the hospital if you need a COVID test, which they're seeing a lot of. Go to your pharmacy or your healthcare provider. Also, if you have a minor medical issue, don't go to the hospital. Go to a place like an urgent care. I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
Portland Public Schools has clinics to get students and staff vaccinated before school starts, and the district is also requiring staff to get the shot. We met with Megan Hosek during a clinic at Franklin High School. She got her second shot yesterday. She works in the cafeteria at Maryville Elementary and says this mandate makes sense to her.
You know, we have to wear masks, and I think every school, you know, has a plan, so I feel confident and safe about going back to work.
PPS has clinics scheduled at different high schools through the end of the month, and we've got more information on KGW.com. The University of Oregon and Oregon State University, meanwhile, will both require proof of vaccination or at least a negative COVID test to attend sporting events and other activities on campus. That starts on Monday and impacts anyone 12 and older. School leaders say the test must be within 3 days of the event, and home tests will not be accepted. The University of Oregon says people who have had the virus within the past 3 months can also show a positive test along with a doctor's note saying they're clear of the virus. OSU, though, will not allow for a doctor's note and positive test.
The political theater that we see, right, is to provide a visual backdrop to this idea of Portland being a city of lawlessness.
All right, moving along to our next story here. Portland civic leaders and politicians and police all joined for a news conference on Friday. Their message was to choose love. Now, they're afraid violence could play out again on the streets of Portland this weekend, and here's why. Our Maggie Vespa has more about their plan to try keeping the peace ahead of a rally in downtown.
Rise against hate.
Rising against hate.
We choose to love.
And choosing love became mantras among Portland leaders Friday.
I choose love.
Multiple virtual events were held, a positive message.
The Proud Boys don't come in peace.
Ahead of anticipated violence.
So when I hear about the Proud Boys coming to town, I think about yet another attack on our community.
City leaders confirm far-right extremist groups, including the Proud Boys, have been posting online about a planned rally downtown. It's expected to happen Sunday afternoon near Waterfront Park. And it's exactly the kind of rally that in the past has lured counter-protesters to the streets of Portland, producing violent clashes. The most recent example happened earlier this month, and you'll see in our video from that night, people carried rifles. There were multiple fights, and in the moment, there was little to no police intervention. Fast forward to this weekend.
Police are developing an appropriate plan with adequate resources.
All available personnel will report for duty.
Portland Police Chief Chuck Lavelle, Mayor Ted Wheeler, and local civic leaders pulled back the curtain on some of that plan. In addition to PPB officers, they're calling in extra resources from surrounding law enforcement agencies. They wouldn't say which ones. At this point, they're not asking the governor to deploy the National Guard. We asked if fights break out downtown, will police intervene this time?
It's not necessarily the best tactical approach to have officers wading into situations where groups are clashing with each other.
The chief didn't want to reveal tactical details about when police would intervene. He added officers often make arrests after protests like this. The mayor said the city is committed to upholding every person's right to free speech, but violence and destruction of property, he said, will be prosecuted. Whether they'll be prevented remains to be seen.
If you're somebody coming from out of our community with the purpose of coming here and intimidating people or spreading hate or vitriol or causing fear, we don't want you to come here.
Maggie Vespa, KGW News.
All right, now scientists say the heat waves that we've seen this summer are not only hotter, but they are becoming deadlier. The historic one back in June killed about 100 people in Oregon. Most died alone in their homes.
There should be ways to get those items and those things without having to put other parts of your life at risk.
Shane Brown there says it was 108 degrees when he found his mother inside her affordable housing unit without air conditioning. The story of her death is sadly not unique. Extreme heat kills about 600 people in the U.S. every year. But the federal government and most states, including Oregon, do not have broad mandates for cooling devices.
We do need to adjust our baseline of what is considered adequate for a person to live and be safe in their home.
Now, on top of all of this, the federal government has cut more than $1 billion in funding for low-income families to help pay energy bills. So even if they have AC, they might not be able to afford running it. We'll be right back.